town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. Walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Feel like a dynamite, ready to explode right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Town to town, from London to Taiwan.
Hello, people of Earth.
Just when you thought that WWE couldn't get any dumber, they prove everybody wrong.
Including me.
Every single person, they prove wrong. Oh my good grief, bro. When I literally tell you, I was like, what? Huh? What? Huh? What? Jokes. This has got to be jokes, right? When I tell you I was like that, I kid you not. This
Jackson Riker still has a job. Karrion Kross and Keith Lee are fired.
Mind-boggling.
Make sense of it.
It's mind-boggling, okay? And, like, every aspect of it is, like, what? The fact that they're doing, like, a big, giant thing of releases again, when they just did one a couple months ago, again, is, like, what are you doing? Do you want to have any roster left? Or what? Second thing is, like, the people they got rid of. Like, seriously? Keith Lee? Seriously? It's a giant joke.
Budget cuts are a bunch of baloney. If you want to make budget cuts, you release your big stars. Because they're the ones that you have to give all the money to.
I legitimately... I just... It's unbelievable.
Hello, everybody. By the way, how's everybody doing? Flamethrower. Ant, how's it going? I mean, David Bowie riding on a tiger on a rainbow.
Dude, I
Long time no talk.
Can't
The big FP, how's it going?
With these eyelashes.
I'm going to be honest. How are they going to fire all these good wrestlers besides Eva and Nia? Why is Jackson still hired?
That's a good question.
Good question.
Like,
That's a very good question.
It's not cool when anybody loses their job, but like, come on, man.
WWE is getting ready to sell. That's all I can figure.
I don't even know.
Or they're going to like drop down to one show. We miss you too. And it's been a while, man.
Literally, man. I don't...
Starring John, how's it going? Cable Shark, how's it going? Great to have everybody here. Okay, it's great to have everybody. How you doing, Lewis? Great to have everybody here, just not under these circumstances.
So, there was stuff put out earlier today from WrestleVotes, talking about there potentially being some releases, and, sorry, I just scratched you. And,
I thought a ghost got me for a second.
No, it was me.
You threw your arm behind. Dude, how's it going?
Sorry about that. So WrestleVotes put out a tweet earlier, like this morning, saying that there was a possibility of some releases, and people were like waiting for it, and then it just happened like within the last 2 hours. Is when they started announcing releases, and we started off with Frankie Monet and Scarlett, who were very eager to like put up tweets right away. Scarlett was putting out like booking stuff. She's like, you can email me here for booking you 30 days and I am back to being the smoke show, like different things like that. She was like all over letting people know that she is not with WWE anymore.
She's a free agent.
Frankie did the same thing. She put up tweets, talking about being Taya Valkyrie again.
Yep.
So, first off, Frankie signed with NXT in February of this year.
Yep.
Had a total of 6 matches on television, and they got rid of her.
Yep.
Scarlett, we've all seen what Scarlett's doing, which is nothing. Nothing. She's not doing anything. She was with Kross, and then...
Then she wasn't.
And
now, she's gone. They're not going to have enough talent for Survivor Series, and even the Rumble, this revamp of NXT, isn't going to save them. No, it's not.
Even with, like, some of these people that they got rid of, I thought they were maybe going to, like, use in the revamp of NXT.
Yeah.
Clearly not.
They were pushing her too? Yeah, I mean, that's just it. I mean, think about it. Some of the people they released, like, BFAB, they just signed her. And they moved her up to the main roster.
Literally last week.
Like, what? I don't know. Think of Marina shocking, seriously incredible. Yeah, there's several on this list that you sit there and go, huh?
Yeah.
Not necessarily because of their talent, but because of what they were doing with them.
Ember Moon is one that I feel like she is incredibly talented, and WWE has misused her on many different occasions. Her first run in NXT was really good. They brought her up to the main roster, totally killed everything about her. Then she didn't want to be on the main roster anymore, and they sent her back down to NXT because that's what she wanted. And then what did they do with her on NXT? They said she was going to be getting pushed for the title. They did this whole thing, and then they did nothing with her. And they were going to do a rebrand with her on NXT.
Yeah.
And they didn't.
Yeah.
Clearly they're not now because she's not with the company.
Yeah, it's like total no clue what they're doing. It's like, and this is probably why, you only see 4 superstars on WWE television.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, we're just going to show these 4 because everybody else is going to get fired.
Mm-hmm.
Why show anybody else?
It's...
I figure the way they're headed, I wouldn't be shocked if they had said, well, we're done with Raw, so we're just going to throw everybody together on one show. I mean, that's kind of where we're headed, aren't we? Because they're not going to have enough people. The people that fired don't make any sense, like B-Fab. She just signed a new WWE deal last week, and now they let her go. Hit Row isn't going to be the same without her. I mean, that's just it. They just signed her, and then they just released her. I don't understand it. Just know 2K Studios is mad heated right now. We're not going to get WWE 2K22 till 2023. Yeah, I mean, they're probably going,
what are we supposed to do now? So B-Fab was also released, as we've kind of said, which makes no sense because they just brought Hit Row to the main roster. She could not wrestle for the life of her. Like, the one match she had on NXT, absolutely terrible. But besides the point, that's totally besides the point, because they brought her up. Clearly Vince saw something in Hit Row because he wanted them on SmackDown.
Yep.
And apparently B-Fab isn't a part of that vision, I guess. So she's gone.
Lewis is eating cornbread. Cornbread's good.
I'm, well, not eating it yet, but I have a vegan hot dog and I'm eating french fries.
It's their fault. Kross did badly. What did I say before? Kross won't be an intimidating big man on the main roster. I said it too. I mean, they have not brought anybody up from NXT and made them good. They tried to change their character. They changed them with everything they do with them, and it's hurt every one of them that's been moved up.
Every one of them.
They should have just kept the same character they had when they were in NXT, and they would have been better off. But it was just stupid what they did. Impact Wrestling AEW calling them. I think you'll see some. We're going to go through. We're going to talk about. I'll tell you where I think they're going to head. And Maven, I'm sure, will speak up and say where she thinks they're going to head to. I'm hoping these guys get paid off a fair bit of moolah. Yeah, I think that, there's a lot of people being released that I wouldn't be shocked if we're not done. I mean, I wouldn't be. I could see more people being released because there's a lot of people. Ricochet doesn't get used. There's a lot of people that don't get used.
Honestly, I am truly surprised that Ricochet has slid through on every occasion that they've done these releases and he's not been a part of them, because you had guys like Aleister Black and stuff like that who have been. You kidding me, bro?
Stone Cold David, how you doing? Quentin, how you doing?
That are being
Crazy Beard has it going. James has it going.
It's unbelievable. So we also have Oni Lorcan, who was working with Pete Dunne and Danny Burch and Ridge Holland on NXT within the last several months. Ridge Holland, clearly, he got moved to SmackDown.
Volterra, how's it going?
I don't know what Pete Dunne is doing right now on NXT. I'm not really keeping up with that to the degree that I was. So I don't know what Pete Dunne is doing. But he was definitely working tag team stuff with Danny Burch, and now Oni Lorcan is not with NXT, and he's been with NXT for a long time. I think he's a phenomenal wrestler. I thought he was cool. I liked the tag team of Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch. I thought they were neat. It was like a different kind of tag team compared to some of the other people that they had, and he's out there.
How could you recruit anybody to go to WWE now? How could you get anybody to go to WWE?
I think the thing about it, though, is that WWE is not the place to be anymore. I think that lots of people, they always spent time, being like, oh, WWE is the place that I eventually want to, end up because it's where, you make it big. But in the last, several years, I just don't think it's the case anymore. I think there's other places that you can be easily 10 times bigger than you would have been in WWE. Yeah. With what they have done with people. I don't get it. So I feel like ultimately what all of this is doing is just turning people away from wanting to be with the WWE.
Yeah. Looks like NXT Talent's 3-day non-compete clause. That's what it looks like. How you doing, Zendel? Great to have you here.
You want to change the color of these?
No, can I change the color?
Mm-hmm. It's kind of hard to see. Also, I'm blind because I don't have my glasses on.
I don't know. I can...
Sorry.
We'll see here. See what I can do. Just keep talking.
Okay, well, I have a french fry in my mouth, so I'd love to keep talking with a french fry in my mouth. Thank you very much.
French fry in your mouth. There we are. I don't know. WWE Human Resources is more dangerous than Thanos. How you doing, Jaden? It occurs to me that between these releases and Ring of Honor collapse, NWA might be looking at a golden opportunity. Yeah, I think if they take advantage of this, here's the problem with NWA. They need to get out on a channel somewhere.
Something with Impact.
They need to get out there where people can see them. And whether, you know, they sign a deal, if I was Impact or NWA or somebody, I'd be getting ESPN on the phone and saying, "Hey, can we work something out where we get put on TV? I don't care if you put us on it, you know, some stupid hour and have us do a replay of our show. Can we get out there and be put on your network? You show Sports Center 100 times, you know, over the night. How about you put us on your channel?" And I think it would help them out tremendously. They're on your head, you silly goose.
I'm well aware they're on my head. I just can't put them on completely to read stuff. They're like, they have to be down on my nose because my eyelashes are huge. And they hit my glasses and then get all weird, so yeah.
Bronco, how you doing? Cry and cry that BFAB was released. Yeah, I don't understand it. No Wrestling has the golden ticket, which is Netflix or Prime. I think the Netflix and Prime, though, is... I think you could do Netflix or Prime. I mean, that'd be a good way to go. Get out there somewhere.
Yeah.
New Japan needs to step up their American product. Yeah, I think if they stepped up right now, I think they'd be in good shape. Let's be honest here. If AEW wasn't around, these things wouldn't be as bad as they seem currently. I don't know. I think that the problem is it's just a lot of people that they were using. And I think that's the big issue.
You mean a lot of people they were not using?
Well, there's a lot that they weren't using, but a lot of people that they should have been using that were talents on NXT
that they've not used. Yeah.
Karrion Kross they were using. They were using Keith. They just changed Keith Lee's name.
Kross is so like everything they did with him was just so baffling to me. Like, how do you mess that guy up? He looks like a monster. Build him up that way. Put him on television in that way. Make him a monster like we did in the start when he was on NXT. The second he got that phone call to go to the main roster, oh, it was over. It was over.
Yeah.
There was no chance for him being anything. Clearly, after the first week of him being on Raw, with the silence, the dead silence of the dude walking out, nobody is cheering. Dude had no music, nothing, and then they put him in the stupid gear. And then there was talk that they were going to change his gimmick and wanted him to be more menacing and be more of like this bad guy. Still no Scarlet. He's keeping all of that godforsaken gear that he was wearing.
He lost a lot of muscle, used to be a monster. He did.
I mean, it's just unbelievable that they couldn't figure out what to do with him because they're stupid. Like, I just don't get it.
No, I don't get it either.
So
I mean, it's like, you know, Nicholas says, Karrion Kross, that man looked the part, has really shocked him the most. I think that the one that shocked me the most is Nia Jax. Just because I never thought they'd get rid of her. I could see her going to, well, we'll talk about it here in a minute. I'll tell you talk about where I think she could go. Otis, the monster without muscle. If Samoa Joe gets released, he'll go back to Impact Wrestling or AEW. Yeah, I mean, depending on what he wants to do. If he wants to get back in the ring, he could be headed there. I mean, back to Impact. This could be a big shot in the arm for Impact.
It could.
Like I said, if the only issue is Impact needs to get out on a channel where more people can see them. And I think that would help them out tremendously. I think they'd be in good shape right now if they were on a channel where more people could see them.
Yeah. So, more NXT releases. We have Jessie Kamea, Zeta Ramir. I think that's how you pronounce her last name. Could be wrong. Katarina Cortez. Katarina Cortez was working with Legado del Fantasma with the whole feud with Hit Row, and that was sort of who they brought in to fight B-Fab.
Then, I'm going to tell you what I think.
Jessie Kamea was working with Frankie Monet. Trey Baxter was in the not the cruiserweight, what's it called? The breakout tournament a a couple months ago, before the rebrand of NXT. Trey Baxter was in that.
Yeah.
Jeet Rama, he did some stuff, but not a ton on NXT. He was more of like a dude that they hired, you know, a little while ago, and he's just been, you know, training at the PC or whatever, not doing a ton on television. And that's like the NXT portion of the releases. A lot of women.
How you doing, MK Osborne? Need to venture back to regular TV deals on smaller channels like the old days to grow the brands. Everyone is not on pay TV, and market share is dwindling due to cutting the cord. I think that there are ways they could get out there. I mean, YouTube, if you want to get out there, put yourself out there on YouTube. If you want to like keep things cheap for people. Problem is that doesn't pay your bills, so you need to get out on some channel somewhere. Access TV, that's the big issue with Impact. There's just not enough homes right now that they could like get a big push to be out there. That's why I would take a smaller deal to go to a bigger channel simply to try and get my product out there, get it promoted, and try and you know, become known. My job! Lewis, you got to go to your job, man. We'll be here. Just put your headphones on and listen to us. They screwed up moving Impact to YouTube and changing, charging money. Also, we can't watch Impact in the UK anymore. Yeah, and that's just it. I think that you know, you got to make money somehow, and but you don't want to charge your base or the people you're trying to bring in because you're not going to bring them in. And so I think that's where you have the issue. Just switch to Hulu, and they don't have access. No, they don't. They don't. Hey there, Colin. I'm paying 99 cents for Impact on YouTube. I mean, yeah, I mean that's you know, if you're willing to pay it, that's the place to go. There's a lot of people that aren't, and that's where it's going to kill them. Bro Maven, imagine Eva Marie to AEW. She can be the Scarlet of AEW. Yeah, if they send Eva, if they were to sign her, then
They're not. She's not gonna wrestle.
Yeah.
She can't wrestle.
Instead,
She's not going to wrestle.
If Bruce Pritchard just called me and fired me from my job with my restaurant,
I think
I don't get it. You know,
it's very strange.
Build up their subs and views on Twitch. They did, and I think that, and they still didn't have a huge following.
Now they don't even put their stuff on Twitch anymore, do they?
I don't think
they don't do the live shows on Twitch anymore.
St. Clair Broadcasting is $13 billion in debt. Ring of Honor is done. Yep, I think they are. I just
so from the main roster,
unless somebody else picks up Ring of Honor, and you know, as a company, and they go to another channel.
So for the main roster side of things,
you just lost 2 subscribers, Jaden. Why'd you kick him out?
Man, for the main roster portion of things, Grand Metalik and Lince Dorado are both. They've both been released. So Lucha House Party is officially no more. They are gone. And then the freaking shocking ones that we were walking. Okay, we were out walking when all of these releases started happening. And I kid you not, I stopped. Mr. G, I think, put the video on Twitter.
I did.
I legit, like, stopped in my tracks. I was like, Keith Lee, Nia Jax, Nia Jax.
Ben, I'd say someone wanted the release, yes.
Are you kidding me, bro? Yeah, Grand Metalik is one. He has asked for his release, or he had asked for his release prior to being let go today.
Yeah.
So WWE gave him that, I guess. But Keith Lee, are you kidding me, man? Keith Lee, come on, you don't get the dude.
No, they didn't give you the chance, Colin.
The guy nearly like died. Well, he just came back from, like, having tons of issues. Tons of medical problems. Dealing with stuff.
The Rock to AEW confirmed. Because Jax got released.
And, they brought him back on television for him to get squashed by Kross, who also has no job now. What has he done since then? Oh, he's Bearcat. Keith Lee now? Or Keith Bearcat Lee? Just kidding, they dropped his first name. He was just Bearcat Lee.
Then they gave him his name back, and now they fired him.
So, what are you doing, WWE?
Firing people with no names. Because I don't know how to use them. I don't know. It's
just mind-boggling to me.
God, I wish I was a billionaire. I would form one hell of a wrestling company from scratch. Yeah, I mean, that's, yeah.
It's so mind-boggling.
You could have, like, right now, with what's out there, if you had the money, you could throw together a heck of a wrestling company.
It's so mind-boggling. I legitimately do not understand. Like,
be interesting to see if The Rock will work with Roman. I don't think it'll work with him. I just don't. Ring of Honor is dead, no matter what Sinclair claims. Sinclair's way too bankrupt. They have to either hope someone buys the company or just let it go under as the roster elsewhere. Yeah, I would say so. But again, I think it's one of those situations where if someone wants to pick up Ring of Honor, I think it'd be worked out. WTK22 is going to be on hold again forever. Forever.
And ever.
I mean forever.
And ever.
Yeah.
And ever. And ever. And ever. And ever. And ever. And ever.
Nia Jax is lucky to have lasted as long as she did. Colin, I would say the same thing, but I think they probably kept her for a reason, and now I'd say that reason's probably out the window. Because I'm guessing that The Rock is not coming back. Just saying. Just realized Dana Brooke is still there. Yep. Bryce Pitts has the scoop. Vince McMahon is trying to fill up more wrestlers in AEW, so roster in AEW, I have no choice to be let go from AEW. Vince McMahon is killing WWE. He is. I think he is. We just hired a new Uso. We have to fire someone else from that family.
Like, I mean, I don't know, man. It's so mind-boggling. So Nia Jax is the next one, and I was like, I never thought they were going to fire Nia Jax. I never thought they were going to let her go, strictly because she is related to The Rock, and, like, because she has been pushed so much for the last, I don't know how many years, no matter who she has hurt, no matter who she's taken out, no matter who she's injured, it doesn't matter. They have literally kept her around through everything. And I'm just curious, what was the final straw?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
no clue.
It's just so, like, whoa, I did not see that coming because I was not expecting her to be let go.
Back to the theory of WWE's clean house to arrange saleability. I actually mentioned that to Maven when we were out and we started to get word that these people were being fired.
Bro, Vince McMahon is not letting people go to have AEW go bankrupt. That, I'm sorry, is a dumb theory.
Yeah.
If that's not what's happening here, I truly, like, that's some total, like, conspiracy stuff that...
It's not April 1st what is happening.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's so just...
Morrison's wife got released. That's why, you know, I said, does this mean he's going to get released?
No. Mia Yim is another one who got let go. Again, you had her in NXT for 75 years. She did well. You decide to move her up to Raw, and what do? You put her in Retribution, of course, because that was a good idea, right? Absolutely. Then what do? You break up Retribution, and where does Mia Yim go? Nowhere. She's never seen on television again. I don't even think she made a debut as Mia Yim on the main roster.
She didn't.
I don't even think she had that.
Yeah.
Mia Yim will be fine wherever she goes because she's a phenomenal wrestler.
Yeah. She'll be
and
fine.
she's real good, and WWE never knew what to do with her. At all.
I understand that talking about Nia, I think...
Sorry, you can go back.
Yeah, I have to because chat just went by fast. I understand we're not advocating for people to get fired, but I kind of understand why they released Nia possibly enough. People were complaining that she might cause someone to get paralyzed. I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think this is just them getting rid of people. Grab me a shower. Catch you all tomorrow night. All right, Flamethrower, have a good one. Start with the assumption that Vince has full-blown Alzheimer's and it begins to make sense. I honestly wonder if Nia was just done with the company or pro wrestling altogether. And maybe she requested a release. She's the one who had asked for her recent leave of absence. Yeah, I think so too. I mean, that's a possibility.
Maybe so.
And maybe she just wanted to get out of WWE.
Maybe. Because she's over it.
Yeah.
Could be the case.
It's one of those things you never know. So we'll run through these. I'll tell you where I think they were probably gonna go.
Oh, Harry Smith got let go too. He didn't even do anything on television.
Yeah, I Miss Ember Moon got released from WWE. Yep. So let's start off. We'll start off with even she didn't call you anything, bro.
I said it was a dumb theory.
Yeah, dumb theory. Eva Marie, nowhere.
Yeah, I think she's gonna stick with movies.
She's going back to the gym.
No, I think she's gonna stick with movies.
Film Nation, how's it going? I think she's gonna go back to the gym and do her aerobic stuff and her.
She was
TikTok
working on a movie,
whatever the crap
or
she
something.
does. Yeah, Harry Smith. Yeah, he's.
Do you even know who that is?
No clue. Who is he? WWE needs to make The Rock return and fight Roman Reigns. Oh. Is that
David Boy Smith's son.
Yeah. The crap. They just signed him.
They just brought him back to let him go. Yes. Absolutely. Sounds right. Sounds about right. I know.
I could see him going to.
He was working. Didn't he do some New Japan stuff?
British Bulldog. Yeah, I know who he is now.
He was working for New Japan, wasn't he? He was doing some New Japan stuff.
Yeah.
I could easily see him. Just
MLW.
going back to that.
Maybe.
Was he in MLW before? I don't know.
Yeah, he was in MLW, I believe. Lewis will know more about that than I do. I'm surprised that he didn't try to position Eva Marie as an interviewer talking smack type thing. Yeah, I could see him trying to do that with her. I'm kind of shocked they didn't do something like that with her. They can release some of that money and spread it out through the roster. Who are they going to spread it to? The people they kept, or make all the money anyway. To be honest, I didn't do anything wrong. Film Nation.
What, Film
You're
Nation?
Good, man.
Film Nation?
You're good, Film Nation.
Yes, you're good, but you bringing it up is just trying to start things, so let's not.
Yeah, we start drama all the time. The one company that could change the whole direction and feel of their company if they weren't too cheap-minded, seemingly, by hiring several of the talents between the WWE Releases and Ring of Honor entire roster is Impact. Yeah, I could see them. Again, they need to get out on a better.
He was in both.
They need to get out on a better channel.
Davies worked the Independents for years. I worked with him a few times. He'll be fine. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think
he'll be fine.
Good. British Bulldog is a good fit for AEW. I could see him going there. I think that'd be a good one. It would be interesting to see. I think he'd be a good fit in AEW just because of the stuff they do. And I think they could bring up the fact that, especially with the Owen stuff and everything. And I could see them doing something with him. Mm-hmm. Mr. J, to understand the second comment that I posted, you have to read the first comment. What was the first comment, Anthony?
I have no idea.
Trust me, these guys, everything will be okay with these things. The fans, you're making it worse. We can't hold on anymore. I don't understand. Again, I don't understand what they're doing. No clue. Mia Yim. I can see her going to Impact. I could also see her going to AEW. Either one of those, I think, would work out. I think what's going to play a huge part in all this is where Keith Lee goes. Again, he's another one I could see Impact. I could see AEW out of him too. Nia Jax.
Oh yeah, Keith Lee for sure.
I
don't know that we're gonna see Nia go anywhere at this stage in the game.
Yeah, I would say we might not see Nia go anywhere. If Davey goes to AEW, it'll only be for a Nick Gage type appearance, but that's great. I mean, yeah, it's possible too.
Sort of a one-off thing, which should be fine.
I would, and I've seen this a couple times in chat now. Nia versus Nyla, I think, would be an interesting match. Mm-hmm. And you could build it up. I think it would be a really interesting match. Great, book it the right way, and I think it could be good.
Mia Yim, one of my 3 for AEW with Keith Lee.
Yeah. Nia Jax will not be picked up she is dangerous. The problem is if she's, train her. Teach her. And I've said this before. She's so much bigger than everybody else. If they're not working with her and training her and Not saying WWE didn't, but obviously they didn't step in and try and stop some of the stuff because it kept happening. And
okay, so the thing about it, though,
this is an Andre the Giant type thing where Andre had to figure out how to try and tone things down because he would kill somebody. Literally. I mean, Big John Studd said he hated, like, was scared to death of Andre. And, you know, you're talking a guy that's 6'11" and big is scared of somebody.
I could see Nia going to AEW strictly to stick it to WWE.
Yeah, I can see it.
If this was like she was let go.
Morrison versus The Miz never happened. Not yet. But we might not see it now. Nia and Nyla versus Rio and Jade Cargill. That'd be interesting. Honestly, Mr. Giant, honestly, I just agree with you. No matter how much you train a person, if they're still unsafe with the training, just cut bait with them. Yeah, if they were trained her right and did everything they were supposed to, then I could see him cut her. But she's been around for so long, it makes me wonder: did they really try and step in and train her? Did they really try and step in and work with her? Because there's things you can do, moves you can like. There's moves they could have done and had her do rather than some of the stuff she did that could have cut down on people getting hurt.
Yeah.
And obviously that probably, based on what we saw, did not happen. I mean, you know. So, Lince Dorado, Grand Metalik, I could see them going back to AAA and possibly doing some stuff with AEW. Not necessarily signing with AEW, but I could see them doing some stuff with AEW. And now, the interesting thing is you know, with FTR doing all the masked stuff, the lucha stuff, you've got some lucha wrestlers out there that are masked that you could bring in. Whether you sign them or bring them in, you know, a one-off or setting up a storyline of some sort that could be interesting, I think. A lot of wrestlers want no part of Ultimate Warrior because he was so stuffy. Yeah, I mean, that's just it. I mean, you have that happen and you are in a position where some of those, you know, some wrestlers just aren't good to work with, no matter who's in the ring with them. Shit, we're trading than anyone else when the others were leading how to make a throw. She'd deliver it. Based on her size, she would do it over and over, just never got the hang of it. And that's part of the problem and that's where you go, okay, let's change up the training. Or change her moves, change what she's doing, and try and make it safer. Lucha House Party would be over huge on Dark. I agree. I think they'd be over huge on Dark, Jackio. So what do you think, Metalik and Dorado?
Probably about the same as you. I think they could do some like one-off stuff with AEW. Things like that.
Yeah. G. Rama? Who the crap is that?
I don't even know who that is, honestly.
Anybody know who G. Rama is?
I think some of these other people.
The only talent AEW could sign with all sinners is Killer Kross, Scarlett, Keith, Mia, Taya Valkyrie. Maybe Ember and maybe Nia if they're that ridiculous enough to sign. The thing is I think that they could. I mean, they could bring any of these people in to do Dark or Elevation.
That's what I was gonna say. Is I feel like we could see a lot of like, especially the women's side of things, because they released a lot of women. I think we could see the women side of things make some appearances on like Dark and Elevation. From Dark and Elevation, they potentially get a chance at a spot on like a Dynamite.
I could see them bringing in some of these women to kind of fill in and help boost her.
Because
the women's division.
That's what they've done thus far. Is they've had some you know, lesser known superstars brought in for the Elevation and Dark side of things. So I could see that happening with a couple of these. Kross, I feel like it would be a no-brainer for AEW to go after him because I think he is $1 million, and I think that he is a superstar. WWE mishandled him. He could go back to Impact, maybe, possibly. I mean, he did some stuff there. I don't really know what his and Scarlett's, like, thing with Impact is now. If there was, like, they were on bad terms or something when they left, or if it was all good. I don't know their reason for, like, leaving, or if they just outgrew stuff. So to me, it makes sense for the both of them to head in the direction of AEW.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I sasaid. I think that there's a couple women here that could help out the women. I think Mia could help out the
Same
women's
thing with
division.
Frankie. I think because Frankie also, or Taya, whatever we want to call her now, I think that she is one, she left, she was done with Impact, wasn't re-signing with them to go to WWE. Clearly, we see how that worked out. I could see her going in the direction of AEW because she did the Impact thing, and she would be a big name for
See you, Jaden.
for AEW.
Yeah.
To get.
Dwayne, are they finished or more coming? Who knows with WWE?
As far as we know right now, this is it.
Done until next month.
So, yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things that, I was kind of shocked by this. See ya, Bryce.
Ember would probably be the best signing AEW could make. Honestly, I would love to see her. I would love to see her over there in AEW.
I don't think you can put Kross over without Scarlett. I agree. I think Scarlett is part of the whole Kross thing. And I think that they have to, whatever they do, I think both of them have to.
I think the two of them together work really, really well. And I think the entire gimmick of the entire gimmick that he had in NXT would not have worked on the main roster without Scarlett, and they chose to not take Scarlett.
Yeah.
And just take Kross.
I'm waiting to see the names Ricochet, Elias, Jeff Hardy, Roderick Strong, Liv Morgan on the release list. You know what? Matt has hinted at Jeff, with him and Jeff tag teaming. I could see it happening. I could see Jeff getting released. Of course, he's got to be close to, I know it got extended, but he's got to be close to having to be on at the end of his contract, doesn't he? Mm-hmm. Look at the impact Ruby Soho has Edge, and she had a similar status in WWE, maybe slightly lower. Not just that, but she is a talent who has been held back in a similar fashion. Ember would be big for. I agree. I think that she would. Ember could come in and help out AEW immediately. You just have to unleash them and let them go. And WWE seems to put time up and not really unleash, their talents.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. G, there's people saying maybe Vince is doing it on some purpose so AEW can get oversaturated and force them to go out of business, even with their funding with TNT. Problem is,
it's quite literally,
Tony Khan has more money than WWE.
It's quite literally a dumb theory.
And I think what Vince is doing is, I think he's setting this up to sell. Why he's doing it this way doesn't make sense, other than just saying, okay, you don't have that much money you have to spend, and look at all the money you're bringing in. Look at our profits. Let me sell to you. We haven't seen Bray yet. Just when you thought it was safe, the huge appearances keep stacking up for the future of AEW. Yeah. I mean, right now, AEW could have a big show. I mean, Impact could have a big show. I think Impact has improved. I haven't watched it in a while, but I know that with people that they've brought in, they're starting to improve with their roster. MLW has improved a little bit. Good night, Colin. Have a good one. So, there's some companies here, if they take advantage of this, again, the problem with like MLW and Impact is they're just not out there on TV.
Trey Baxter already has shows lined up. He's back in, he's working GCW in December.
All right. Trey Baxter is, it just reminds me of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Me and him's got 90 days.
90 days, let's go to work, says Mia Yim.
So, yeah.
Interesting.
Some of them have 30, some of them
AEW will
have
hire
90.
WWE free agents. I think they're going to hire some of them, yes. I believe so. They're both husband and wife, Killer Kross and Scarlett. Yeah, I mean, and they're working well together. I think that's a huge part of it. AEW needs women for the roster. Scarlett, Ember, and Taya can help out majorly for AEW's women division. I agree. I think if they got 2 or 3 of these women from this cut, their women's roster could become the best around.
Mm-hmm.
Prediction, NXT UK is on the verge of being closed, and they move whoever they want to keep all, or is willing to move to the U.S. to NXT. I also believe the brand split is nearing its end, and I wonder if they won't go as far as sprinkling some of Raw SD talents on NXT as well, essentially almost combining all 3 brands. I've never liked the brand split anyway. Never understood it. Put your talent out there. Put them on shows.
51, 52,
Don't be stupid.
54, 55,
Just
56,
create storylines.
58, 59, 60,
NXT UK, again, I think that you're going to kill everything, which is dumb. With the bad blood that Scarlett and Kross have with Impact Wrestling, do you seriously see them going back there? Because I don't see them going to AEW. Well, if you have no choice, if Impact's out of the question, there's not a lot of options there.
In 2021, WWE has released 72 people.
Yeah. Bayley and Asuka still with WWE? Yes. From WWE's perspective, they weren't doing anything impactful with any of these releases. Clearly weren't planning anything for them. Well, as we love these performers, they were not being used. That's like 3/4 of their roster. They only use about 6 people, though, Ant. Roman Reigns. Oh, let's bring back Brock. We'll throw the Usos out there because, well, you know, they're related to Roman Reigns.
And WWE had their media call today, just by the way.
$256 million for the quarter. Revenue.
Budget cuts, though.
Yeah.
Budget cuts.
I would advise AEW going easy on the guys for a while and start scooping up the women. Mission Pro will gladly train anyone who needs it. Yeah, I think that picking up some of those women would be good. But I think you need to jump on some of the men. If you really want them, you better go get them. Otherwise, they're going to be tied in with someone else. Good night, Ben. Have a good one. Yep, Rampage SmackDown. We'll see you. NXT UK won't go. They had a big impact on the UK wrestling scene. They won't pay most of the performers as much as you think. Yeah, I mean, that's, well, NXT UK, I've said this, is probably the best thing that they had going. Without a doubt. I think that NXT UK was probably the best product they were putting out there. And so it's just everything they've done here just doesn't make a lot of sense. The brand split before made a lot of sense due to the amount of people they had on their roster. Now they need to end the brand split because they barely have enough talent for anything. I agree to Big FP. They're just their talent there is not there.
It's messed up.
Mission Pro. I think isn't Mission Pro like a training facility?
I have no idea.
Did Lance Storm get let go? I don't know. That I do not know, Walter.
I think he did a while ago.
Yeah.
He was doing producing stuff.
Yeah. I want to say he was, but I don't remember. Katrina Cortez, no clue. Trey Baxter. The only thing I can think of with him is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Well, he's already got shows lined up for GCW, so.
Zeta Ramir. I don't even remember who she is. Who is she?
She's on NXT.
Oh, yeah, that's why I don't remember. I don't watch that show now. Who's next on the list? Jessie Kamea. No clue where she'll go. B-Fab. I think she's be gone. That's probably what's happening to her. Karrion Kross, I've already stated I could see him going to Impact. I could see him going to AEW.
You're an absolute nerd, just so you're aware.
What?
The thing B-Fab is, be gone. So, yeah.
Just saying. Oni Lorcan.
Dude, she could not wrestle. I'm sorry. I mean, I feel terrible for anybody who, like, loses their jobs under these circumstances, but she could not wrestle. She had no wrestling ability.
She could not wrestle.
She had no wrestling ability.
No wrestling ability.
At all.
At all.
It was awful.
Awful.
Terrible. Literally bad. Like, I kid you not. The one match that she had.
Yes, what how you doing?
One match that she had on NXT was absolute trash. It wasn't good.
Yeah. Yeah, it was bad.
It was no good.
No. And then she got moved up.
And then I was like, she can't wrestle! What?
What a shocking night. Geez, Frankie Monet had 6 matches, totally underused. She just put a tweet saying, Taya Valkyrie on her Twitter. Lots of nice messages from wrestlers. Yep. The Raw, SmackDown, and NXT women's divisions and the men's tag team division as a whole literally don't have enough people for 3 shows, let alone 2 even. Yeah, I agree, Stone Cold David. I've said this for a while, the way they use them. I've said they have the talent. Use your talent! Maven say Mr. G is a nerd. That's funny. Yeah, she did. She did. I'm used to it. Mission Pro Wrestling is an all-women's production owned and booked by Thunder Rosa. Oh, that's right. That's what that is. I know what it is now. They have a very close relationship with AEW. Much of their talent can be seen on. I know what I knew what Mission Pro Wrestling was. Thank you, Crazy Beard.
You did. You just had to be reminded.
I did, because I do remember Thunder Rosa talking about it.
Uh-huh.
Oni Lorcan has a 90-day non-compete. He's done a YouTube video earlier. What messes with my mind is that Akira Tozawa, Ricochet, and anyone in the 24/7 division aren't released at all from the first release wave in 2020 to now. Very shocking. No, it's not shocking, because they need someone to run through the middle of a match, through the ring.
Because what would they do without it?
Yeah, they just need someone to do that. I'm glad Eva Marie got released. So's a lot of other people. Scarlett, same thing with Kross. Where I think those two will go together. Wherever they end up is, they're going to end up together.
Cool.
Everyone, please like and subscribe.
Yeah. Please.
Ember
It
Moon.
helps.
AEW would be an excellent
She's gotta
spot for
go to
her.
AEW.
Because I think that they could do something big with her. It'd be huge. They're located outside of Houston. Yeah, that's what I thought. They knew they were down there somewhere.
And Frankie's another one I think that
She's another one I could see.
she could go to AEW or she could go back
Yeah.
to Impact.
Yeah.
Either way should be fun.
Jessica May was in NXT in a tag team with Aaliyah, the Robert Stone brand. Aaliyah just on her own now. Another tag team split up. Yeah. Like the tag team, like they just as well get rid of the women's tag titles, the men's tag titles, get rid of all the titles. Let's not even have titles anymore because they mean nothing. Nothing. Titles mean nothing, but that's been saying this for a long time. The titles mean nothing in WWE.
Yep.
Nothing.
Yep.
Wrestlers mean nothing. Fired! That's funny. Yep. I don't get it. 24/7 makes Vince laugh. Those guys are safe forever. Yeah, that's just it. It's something he likes, I guess. I just realized that Reggie is still under contract. Yep. So he can do his backflips out of the ring, into the ring. R-Truth is funny. I try to get the 24/7 title. Yeah, I love R-Truth. I love what he's doing. I just think that think of what he would do in AEW. Think of what they could just put him on commentary and he could kill it. I'm not sure what WWE is going to do, what they got to do something. They're going to have to do it really fast. They're going to fire everybody and then sell them. At what point do you guys think you would stop watching WWE? And we haven't watched WWE now we've watched SmackDown.
And you haven't been here, but I quit watching Raw like a solid month and a half ago.
Yeah.
The Raw after whatever the last pay-per-view was, I said, I'm done. I'm not watching this anymore. I don't watch NXT anymore because it looks like Nickelodeon threw up all over it, and it's not my vibe. I watch AEW because AEW's cool, and I watch SmackDown on Fridays.
Yeah.
And SmackDown is the only WWE show I watch at this point, and then the pay-per-views. But you don't really have to watch Raw or anything to understand what's happening with the pay-per-views, because they tell you during said pay-per-views. So yeah, I already quit watching Raw. I haven't watched
a lot of the pay-per-views.
An entire episode of Raw in.
Yeah, it's been a month and a half probably.
I don't even watch clips.
Yeah.
I just read tweets.
Yeah.
On the rare occasion.
Well, and the sad part is you can probably just kind of figure out what's happened on.
I get the gist of what's going on just through the tweets.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't even watch Raw anymore.
Wrestling is just not a good state right now. Besides AEW, first Ring of Honor looks like it's going out of business. John Moxley's in rehab, get well soon, and now WWE is doing another release wave. Wow.
See, but I disagree. I feel like wrestling. I mean, I guess to a point, I agree with what you're saying.
Honestly, this is the best wrestling has probably been in a long time.
But yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is I feel like because of all the stupid things that WWE is doing, it is kind of making other promotions better. AEW is really thriving right now, and they're doing really well in my opinion. I feel like Impact is thriving, even though I don't watch it on the regular because it's not my cup of tea. I do think that Impact is thriving. They've got Mickie James working shows on there with the women's division. They're doing big stuff with that. They just brought in the Iconics. They're doing some big stuff on Impact. Just not a bunch of people, tune into it, I guess.
Yeah.
But I do feel like wrestling right now is kind of thriving because of some of the stupid decisions that have been made in other companies. And I feel like because of having AEW, WWE has to be more competitive, if that makes sense. To like, they have to make an effort to maybe make things better because they have competition. Even though they don't want to admit they have competition, they have competition. And so I feel like all of it truly is for the betterment of professional wrestling.
You watch SmackDown and pay-per-views. What would make you stop completely? Maven has pretty much shut out. We put it on, but Maven really doesn't pay a lot of attention to it because she's getting ready for the. She's getting ready for.
Where are we going with this?
Rampage.
Oh yeah, SmackDown. I mean, we'd sit here and we do our stuff, yes, and we do have it, and we watch it. It's a watch along, but. How much do I actually pay attention to it? Probably 25%. Maybe. I pay attention enough to, like, kind of semi-speak about it, but also I really don't care.
Yeah, she doesn't watch SmackDown for the most part.
I don't know. WWE, very much so, like, I will always love WWE because they're like, you know, the first big wrestling promotion that I ever watched.
They were the only one that...
They were the only professional wrestling, you know, thing that for a long time there. But they were, you know, like the big thing that I, you know, watched growing up. So it's, you know, and I like all the old stuff. Now it's kind of, I feel like they're really in this really odd spot where they don't, to me it seems like they don't really care. And like, I can't justify sitting there for 3 hours watching Monday Night Raw anymore because it feels like it's a chore and it feels like it's like I have to do this and like I really don't want to, and it's like not fun anymore like watching it, you know what I mean? And I feel like with NXT it's kind of the same thing where I'm just like, what is this? Like I just don't find any enjoyment out of watching either of those shows. And like, but I feel that when I'm like, I feel the exact opposite of that when I'm like watching AEW because I feel like they're always doing something exciting and like
they change things up.
Fun. And I get a lot of enjoyment out of watching
and they
AEW.
They include everybody.
Which is what I don't know. I find it so, it's so different watching the two of them and like the way I perceive it, I guess. It's just, I feel like WWE right now is very much so stuck in the same thing that they've been doing forever and they just need to change some things. Because I feel like I've seen a lot more people who have said kind of the same thing that I am, that like they really are like stuck and they don't know what they're doing and they don't know where to go with things. So what they need to do something, they're just not.
SmackDown turns bad. Are you going to stop watching it too?
Possibly.
I would probably put it on just because it's on right before Rampage right now.
Probably.
Moxley's in rehab. Yes, Moxley did go to rehab. Did he post it or did...
It was Tony Khan.
Huh? Who posted it?
Tony Khan.
Tony Khan posted it. So
he
Moxley
put that
is
up a couple days ago. That
yeah,
Moxley's
in rehab.
Permission for him to put that up there, and so yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the big thing. Is they've allowed him to go, and even Renee posted something along the lines of, "I'm glad that we get the opportunity and the chance to be able to go out and try and get his help and try and go through rehab." Which I'm not sure that wasn't a shot at WWE with what she posted, because just because of the way she stated it.
Interesting hearing your opinion, guys, as someone who's become very disenfranchised by WWE, their business practices, and severe lack of diverse storytelling. Thanks, dudes. I think that's another thing about it, though, is sort of the business practices, and it makes me mad, like, seeing what they do and seeing all the people that they let go and all of these different things that have come out about WWE. I feel like it's like, why, like, what's the point of supporting a company that's like that? You know what I mean? So, like, I feel like that also has maybe kind of skewed my perspective on WWE also, is because of, like, the stupid decisions that they've made in the way that they run their company that I just don't necessarily think are cool. So, yeah.
Yeah. Film Nation says, I just think WWE needs to take a break. Don't overthink it. Realize that, yes, in 2021, someone is starting a competition with WWE. Either WWE is die a hero or it lives enough to become a villain. I just think the problem with WWE is they don't know what they're doing. They have no direction. There is no direction with WWE right now.
That's the problem.
And without direction, again, if you could tell a good story, they wouldn't even be in this position they're in now.
Mm-hmm.
But they can't tell a good story.
Yeah.
And that's what kills them. I'm tired of the budget cuts BS. I agree, John Elite, 100%. WWE lost me in the 90s. I grew up on the good stuff, but Ring of Honor and AEW brought me back. See, I don't watch much of Ring of Honor just because of, I don't, like, when it's on here, I don't watch it much. And so that's kind of, you know, that's kind of where it's, like, where we're at with Ring of Honor. If I can catch it occasionally, I'll watch it, but I'm not, like, watching it every week. I'll continue to watch all the WWE pay-per-views because I get Peacock for free. What I mean by die a hero or live long enough to see that could become the villain. Either way, the white flag or for surrender or wave the WWE flag for war. That's what I mean by that. I understand what you're saying,
It's
I mean,
it's
one of
not
those things.
even the WWE. WWE doesn't need to wave a white flag and say we're just gonna lie down and take this. They need to, like, just do better. Just do better.
Yeah.
Like, care about the product that you're putting out, because right now it seems as though you don't. It seems as though you don't care about any of your performers. It seems as though all these different things, like, it just does not seem to me like WWE is in the place where they care anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Will WWE sell in the near future? I think that's where we're headed.
Maybe.
I think we're headed to WWE selling. How soon? I don't know. I think that they can say, well, look at all the money we made, and then we made some cuts, and this is where we're at. Would you like to buy us? Because look at all the money you're going to make. And you don't have all this overhead from all the performers here, and we're still making lots of money.
Mm-hmm.
And so they can sit there and do it that way. Do you even know how many releases there have been already? There's already been this year alone. I think you said 72.
72.
Right?
72 releases this year.
Yeah. That's just talent.
Is
that just talent?
Yes.
Wrestlers? Yeah.
Yes.
That doesn't include anybody behind the scenes or anything. WWE's not going to release Alexa Bliss because she's already a big star, so WWE's not going to let her go until she retires in WWE and goes into the Hall of Fame. She may. You never know.
Except they got rid of Ray. So.
Yeah. Older Ring of Honor pre-Cody. I could understand that. Weren't there also reports of Kross getting repackaged? There were lots of reports going out there. There was tons of reports out there that, you know, they were going to do something different with him.
Maybe WWE will change something, and maybe we'll just have to wait patiently for it. Who knows? But the problem is, though, is sitting and waiting patiently. It's still sitting there watching the WWE product,
You still have
which
to put
gives
stories out there.
WWE the idea that what they're doing is good and it's getting people to view their product, when in actuality, it's not. Sitting patiently, waiting for them to do absolutely nothing does nobody any good. WWE needs to act now and fix things and change things and write better stories and stop treating your talent like crap and maybe care. And then maybe people will, like, want to start watching their shows again.
Yeah.
But you've seen their viewership has gone down. Compared to what it used to be, it is nowhere near what it used to be.
No.
So,
No, it's not.
it's like, I just...
The Big FP says, hey guys, I just read a report from a couple of wrestling news sites saying this exclusive report, WWE preparing to sell company within the next 2 years, Disney being discussed as potential buyer. I couldn't see Disney doing it. The only reason I can't see Disney doing it is because with Fox and USA Network being involved and the fact that the WWE Network is on Peacock, I just can't see it being done, especially since they just did a big deal with Peacock. I mean, I just can't see it being done. I'm not saying it's impossible.
I think they're probably going to sell to, like, the F, and they already have product on there and already are working with them. So I could see them going the NBC route.
Yeah. Before I heard the release news, I wanted to tell you that I found two MSG programs, 12/26/86 and 10/16/87. The 86 card was headed by a title match between Hulk and Kamal. I probably watched it.
Cool.
I probably watched that match.
That's neat. So, yeah.
At this point, W should be in Ring of Honor's shoes and not the other way around. Yeah. I agree. Interesting point, Film Nation. I do give them a little hate. but not based on the fact that the product doesn't inspire me or the lack of me seeing the diversity of talent, but several of the business. Yeah, that's just it's. I think there's a lot of things happening. Practices I find unethical. I think that the business side, I think it's the whole thing, Ant. I think it's everything. The way they're doing business, the lack of storylines, I mean,
Lack of seeming like you care.
putting people out there. It's just it's not. I just think that the whole thing, all of it combined, is what is hurting the WWE product. Guess the Rock's fame is not immune. Nia is gone too. Yeah, I don't know that it's the Rock. You know, I don't think WWE cares right now.
I think that's a big thing about it.
I think it's one of those things that WWE really doesn't care. I think we should just take a break from watching wrestling because I think it's building up intensity and rage. You haven't seen Rage yet, Film Nation! Oh, sorry. I lost it for a minute. That was my rage.
My entire gimmick is built on being
Rage!
rage!
You can't even get rage right now!
Professional wrestling! That's my whole gimmick! Clearly, you've never seen the show.
The entertainment era is dead, and WWE is stubborn to admit it, and the fact that real pro wrestling is in demand.
That's the thing about it, though, is WWE is not pro wrestling. They're sports entertainment. That's what they market themselves as. That is what they are telling the masses, is that they're sports entertainment. The difference between an AEW show and a WWE show is WWE is playing to the people. I don't like, how do I want to word this on, not TV, but they're like, they don't care what the people think, if that makes sense. It's like a television show.
Yeah.
And they don't feed off of the people's reactions.
But here's the thing.
Does that make sense in a way of like WWE doesn't care what the reaction of fans is because they're going to keep doing whatever they're doing regardless. But I feel like AEW's side of things is like they really do play off of the reactions and stuff, and that kind of helps decide things. Yeah. If that makes sense. You know what I mean?
The thing about the entertainment side of things is I think you have to have both entertainment and the wrestling side of things. Because I think you have to have the entertainment to obviously entertain. If I just want to throw two guys out there and wrestle and say, hey, I just want to see a good wrestling match, I could pull a lot of people out and just throw them out there. I want a story to go with it, which is why you have the entertainment side of things. So, you know, when we sit here and we talk about WWE is just in sports entertainment and not so much the wrestling, they have to have both to make it interesting.
Yeah.
You know?
I do feel like WWE at this point is panning to a younger audience. I think that they are leaning towards wanting to do a product that is aimed towards more kids, while AEW does have these more adult side to things. And that's just who they're playing to. Because WWE has gone in more of a younger audience. AEW has an old audience.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I like AEW more. No, it's not. It's just because AEW they do storylines better, and I just find some of the stuff WWE does is cheesy and corny, and it very much so is sort of like the kids thing. And I don't know, and that's fine if you want to do that, but also don't like go back on that and switch things up like every 2 minutes because suddenly something's not working. So suddenly you want to make this a little edgier or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Because they're very wishy-washy.
Yeah.
Very wishy-washy with what they do.
Mr. G's hulking up. Yep. I say we should stop watching wrestling. I think we need to turn off the news if we get a notification of a wrestler being released from a company. Not going to happen, Film Nation. That's why we're here. I think the word you're looking for, Maven, is children.
Yes, it was.
To be honest, I think it's worst time to be a wrestling fan in 2021. People like to say toxic things about each company, and I think it just needs to stop. I think it's the best time. I think I agree with David Bowie riding a tiger on a rainbow. I think it's the best time to watch. And without a doubt, it's the best time to watch because you got AEW, you got Impact, you've got an Impact. I think is picking up a little bit since the last time we watched it. There's just other things out there that you know are good. Entertainment is to market and sell other products first, and the wrestling is secondary. It is, and that which I don't have an issue with. I don't have an issue with entertainment. As long as you put stories together and put some good wrestling out there, then I'm cool with it.
Mm-hmm.
Today's tweens are the next generation, 14 to 49s. Yep. Still won't watch AEW. James, you're missing out, man. You're the one that's missing out, not us. Only Impact now. James, you're missing out, man.
So James isn't watching WWE anymore?
No, I think he's quit watching WWE.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
If you lose...
That's because he just knows that Becky's going to be thrown out there, and she's going to have to, like, stand out there for 3 hours because they don't have anybody else on the roster. So she has to do a promo on nobody, I guess. All right, guys. I think we're going to take off.
I'm looking for more.
Is anything else? You got anything else?
Information.
Anybody else have anything in chat?
I'm looking.
Think we've hit the end of the road here. That is the update from James quit Becky. Times have changed. I hope you're well, man. Look at Vince. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Yeah. Question from Maven. If you were a young wrestler and Tony Khan said, come and work for me, and Vince Rang said, come work here, where would you go?
AEW. No question. Like, I don't even have to think about it because it would be AEW.
Yep. We'll be back tomorrow for SmackDown and Rampage.
Why can't Vince retire? The question that everybody has
he's a
been
vampire.
asking for the last...
He's a vampire.
I don't know how many years, but I don't have the answer to it. Sorry.
I think Eve is the perfect blend of entertainment and wrestling skills. I agree. I think what they do is a really good job. I think Eve does an excellent job of putting a product out there that people want to see. I only watch WWE for Becky and Seth. See? I knew it. James, wait till Becky goes to AEW. Great having you here, Aunt. It's been a while. You know, Don't be a stranger. Stop by sometime. All right? You can come hang out with us. You know? Not this, you know, we'll see you in 6 months, guys. Peace. See ya. So, stop by every once in a while. I guess Kross can go back to Killer Kross. That he can. Definitely. With that, we're taking off. We'll be back tomorrow. Eve's great promoter is good looking. Eve's great promoter is good looking. All right, we're taking off. We'll see you. That's not how I see Mr. G. Well, Film Nation, you should take a look at it because it's just the way it is. Peace out. See you in less than 24 hours. Peace out, everybody.